Well, hello, welcome to Perfectly Twisted. I'm Nicole Eggert, and this is Dave Palais. Say hi,
How you
Dave.
doing?
Wave, say hi.
There we go. Just so you know, people wonder, what's the show like off there? And I'll be honest with you, there's one big hard-hitting question that was brought up right before the show started. You want me to say it?
Yeah, what?
The question was, Nicole, is it for fuck's sake or for fuck's sake? Is there an S in there? I got to know. And Nicole did a bunch of research for me, and she got me the answer. It was driving me crazy for 2 days.
As I'm researching, how did you not go to Google or AI to ask? How would you sit there and ponder on that without just getting the answer?
I think I just wanted to figure it out myself. But I honestly, it was a thing that came up 2 days ago with a buddy of mine. He was upset, but I don't want to interrupt him because that's the last thing he cared about, if there was an S or not an S, because he was really upset. But in my head, I think, blanked out on what he was even talking about, because I was like, I got to get this right. But I never looked it up. But you solved it for me.
Well, as I was researching it, I always say, oh, for fuck's sake. But it makes sense grammatically. And I never put that much thought into it, that there would be an S after the F word, because that just is proper English. And sure enough,
do you remember? Did your parents ever cuss in the car, like in traffic, or do things where? Do you remember when you were a little kid? Would it make you laugh or make you scared? Which one was it?
Well, my dad would make me laugh because he would always, he had a thick German accent, and he would always say, "Oh, God damn it," and he would pronounce the N. God damn it. And I would just think it was so cute. Yeah. What are you doing? There's no N.
Oh my gosh. That
what
is
about
so
you?
funny.
Was it scary?
No, I loved it. I just thought it was my mother usually would be the one. And then, because they didn't really get upset if I would say bad words, unless I said it at them, which I had done in the past. But it was when your parents do it, because they didn't walk around the house swearing. Like, I swear a lot now. My parents don't cuss like I cuss. And when they would do it, I'd laugh every time. I kind of really liked it, because it was out of the norm, and I wasn't in trouble. It was always traffic. Always had to do with something in LA, pissed them off, something in the Fedco parking lot. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my mom was a big swear, but she had a British accent. So it was like, the Brits can really swear and say some words, and it's so not offensive.
Yeah.
So, and they use the C word a lot. So I grew up with that word being very casual, and it means something different. And so it doesn't sound, it's not quite as endearing when I say it as when my mom said it, but and I was not allowed. I mean, my mom swore like a trucker, and I was not allowed at all, ever, to use. And then I went through a lot of life where I really did swear a lot. And these days I try to tone it down. And I sometimes, they do slip out and they do come, but I do try to.
Do you do it because you have a little one in your house, or just because it's you that doesn't want to do it?
Both. I feel like it's not very ladylike. It's not necessary. And I do want to set an example for her, because she does not use those words, and a lot of kids her age do. And we talk about how it's just not cute. But it's funny, because when I do slip in anything and my bonus mom is around, she'll correct me. She'll be like, "Hey, watch the language." So, and it's true. I mean, it's not the best. I don't love it. So
yeah, see, I won't cuss in front of kids that aren't my own, kind of a deal.
Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah,
it's because I don't know what other parents are teaching us. I don't want to be known as that guy that cusses all inside my inner monologue. I cuss a lot. I coach, baseball, so there's a lot of F words in my head a lot. Like, someone strikes out or someone drops a ball, and fuck, is in my head, but I don't say it out loud. I did have a situation a few weeks ago, Nicole. They now have a catcher intercom. And if you watch Major League Baseball, the catchers don't give signs like they used to between their legs. Like, they go 2, 1, whatever. And they literally push a button, and the intercom says in the pitcher's ear, fastball outside, curveball low and away. It will say they push a button, so it gets away from sign stealing, makes the game move faster. Well, we have it now set up with the kids I coach where they have an earpiece, and we have a coach in the dugout that says, like, microphone, fastball outside. And I'm not even thinking that the coach standing right next to me. I sit there while all the kids are in the field. I sit there and I start trashing the kids who are in the field.
Oh,
This
and they
kid,
can probably hear you through the.
the catcher can hear me. Only one kid can, but I'm like, oh, this kid in left field, he couldn't catch COVID, and I'm ripping them and stuff, and I'm ripping the players, thinking no one can hear me. And the kid comes back. I heard everything you said about everyone on this team. I go, that's between us. Like this isn't good at all. Everything just came out. I thought it was all a secret until I realized he heard everything I said for the entire time.
Amazing. What happens if the earpiece falls out?
It's we haven't had that issue. We haven't had the issue. But anyway, in baseball, it's one of those things that's changed. But it's funny. But yeah, I try not to swear in front of other kids. But yeah, I do. I cuss a lot. I think I start a lot of sentences with F and they end with S.
Well, you're a grown man. You could do as you please. Yeah.
Makes me feel young. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel a lot of stress, I think, by cussing.
No, I'll tell you who was cussing. I heard this news story. I was listening to the radio yesterday, and of course, out in Florida, out in the good old Florida, this guy was a drug dealer, and he was trying to deliver his drugs via drone.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is kind of genius. There's a little bit of genius there, right? Except this is where the Florida part comes in, okay? He crashes the drone into the wrong home, and it hits the side of the house. And the husband and wife that live in the home hear it, and they go out and they find the drone. And there's like a little bag tied to it, and they open it up, and there's drugs. There's 3 bags of drugs in it. So they call the police. Well, meanwhile, he doesn't know that they've called the police, and he goes and he knocks on the door. But he rings the ring bell with the camera and the whole thing 3 times.
Wow.
And then he's like walking around the house looking for the drone. The police show up. And they're like, what are you doing? And so to add insult to injury, he tells them what he's doing. They open the bag. The baggies, it's 2 bags of powdered fentanyl and 1 bag of methamphetamines.
Wow.
But they're labeled to the person that he was delivering them to. He's got them labeled. He's got one name on one of them, another name on the other one, and then the third one says free to share.
Oh my goodness.
So he's on camera. He gets caught hanging out trying to find his drone, and his whole mission blew up right in his face.
God, he almost had a perfect plan. Even if he would have said, I'll take it as a business loss of going, that's a drone that's gone and the drugs are gone. It almost seems like he had it going pretty good. Unless there's a serial number attached. I don't know anything about drones. A serial number attached to drones like IP addresses that would go right back to him. He just it's gone. It's what happened. But,
right. I don't know. Right. Can you trace a drone? That's a good question. And I thought about that too, because you just ditch it, but then maybe you can trace it. And that's why he was like trying to find it, or maybe he was just trying to find it because he wanted his stash. But yeah.
That's amazing.
But almost a good plan.
Yeah. But of course it's Florida. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, right? There you go. And that's it.
Florida. Wow. That's a crazy, crazy story.
Do you ever I know you don't, you say you never remember your dreams.
I don't.
I don't always remember my dreams, but I do a lot. But I have it's not all the time reoccurring, but if I were to say I have a reoccurring dream, it's that I get stuck in really high places all the time. And I'm scared shitless in my dreams. So I'm frozen in fear in some heights, if it's a bridge or if it's a high diving platform or just a big structure or something like that. And I had one last night, and I'm scared to death all the time. And I always make it down okay, whether I climb down or even I've fallen or jumped off, and I somehow don't crash to my death. I somehow make it down okay. I need a psychiatrist or something. I need one of those people that interpret the dreams, but on a real level, not just on a on a woohoo level. I want somebody to tell, because I have them quite often.
See, I wonder on a bunch of things when people say this is what your dream means. I remember, believe it or not, I was a psychology major when I first started school. And I remember them telling us that you really can't interpret dreams. And then there are people that swear they can, especially your best friends. Everyone's best friend can interpret your dream. But it's one of those, you kind of wonder, is everything BS? I don't know what that means. The being up in high situations thing is you've done stuff and gotten paid to be up in high situations. You did that show where you had to dive stuff. I'm afraid of heights, so there's no way I could have done the diving thing even that you did. Like I don't mind being up in the Empire State Building or somewhere where it's tall. I did some. Don't touch me if I'm by the edge, even
Right.
though
Feet
you know what I'm
planted,
saying.
right? Feet
Yeah. Oh
planted,
yeah.
no jumping. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't touch me. Don't. It's not a joke for me. Like I'm paralyzed, kind of the way you said you are in your dreams. The funny thing is, you said you make it down every time.
I
Like,
do. It's
do you
much
see
higher
step
than
by
the
step?
diving platforms. In the dream, it's much higher. It's very high.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I always make it down. But yeah, it's got to mean something. I get it that you can't control them, but it is your subconscious, having its time while you're asleep and your conscious mind is resting. So it's got to be some kind of fear or something. Like when I was younger, I used to dream a lot about snakes.
Yeah.
Like that was a reoccurring
Me
dream. I
too.
don't have those at all anymore.
I used to
And
have
then
those.
yeah, right. I think everybody does. And I think that does represent something. And then for a period in my time, I would dream a lot about water and like freaky creatures being in the water and me having to go into it, like alligators and just weird stuff in the
Yeah.
water, snakes and scary things in the water. And now it's heights. So there's got to be something to this. And they're
Wow.
reoccurring and only in certain stages of my life. So for me, I think all signs point to it's something you're either fearful of in this time in your life or something, going
Yeah.
on at this time in your life. Because, like, I don't dream about snakes and then the water and then a height or anything like that. It's been very, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Here's a question for you. Do you, when you make it down, are you going at a normal speed? Or are you going really slow? Or like I noticed, I don't run fast in dreams.
right.
It
Yeah. It's
bothers
hard
me
to,
that I can't run fast in my dreams.
yeah. Um, And that's another thing, right? We all have that. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's got to mean something. And well, it's different. And I feel like it sometimes it feels like fast falling, and then as I get to the ground, it's like fine, and I'm just fine. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, and it's live happily ever after in the dream. But yeah. So I would love to get to the bottom of that. Anybody that knows, anybody that does
Yeah. I'm
that,
curious.
you read up on that, study on that, message me. I'm curious. So
So you said you have fallen though before in your dreams.
I
Like have you?
do. Yeah. Sometimes I
Okay.
climb down, sometimes I fall down, or I jump out, or I, jump down. But yeah, I seem to be, but I've also have dreams quite often where I can fly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like fly around, like Superman fly around?
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
sir.
I
Yes.
wish I'd had one of those. I never had one of those. Yeah.
And sometimes it's a lot like what was the dragon movie where they're like ninjas and they can like run along the rooftops and like fly through the trees, yes, it's like I have some sort like I can run and fly. I haven't had one of those in a while, but yeah,
Yeah.
I
Never had
have
that
had those,
either.
and those are fun.
Yeah.
Those are like
I
really
don't know.
really fun dreams.
Never, not one that I can remember that I've ever had one like that. The falling is always interesting me. So when you've fallen in your dreams, did it hurt? Do you remember it going? You
No,
were in pain?
no, 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 nope, just totally fine. But the
Yeah.
thing is I wake up exhausted because the adrenaline that I know my body's been pumping from this dream
Yeah.
is like I feel like I didn't get any rest.
Yeah. I've had those. I've had that
Right. Okay, so I
where,
had nightmares when I had to move and I had all of when my mom passed and I had all of her stuff. I would have dreams of staring at all the boxes and all the things and how am I going to pack all this up? So I was getting no rest. So like during the day I was packing up and moving boxes and then I was dreaming about it and then I would wake up and have to do it again and it was this constant. It was horrible and it was so mentally draining.
yeah.
Am I the only one? Does this happen to other people? So weird.
I might have told you this one before, but I always remember when you're a kid and people will tell you, if you die in your dream, you die in real life. That was
Yeah.
a thing in school. And I was like, as like you get older, you go, that's the dumbest thing I think we've ever said to each other. Like it's never said in the newspaper, so and so lived at age 58. They actually dreamt they died in their sleep. That was the cause of death. It's
Well,
never
you
been the
never
cause
know.
of death ever
Well,
in a written thing. It might have been a heart attack in your sleep, but it might have been they died in their sleep and that was it. But they don't write it out on the coroner certificate that you died in your sleep and now you're dead.
well, they will say they peacefully passed in their sleep. So how do we know that? How do we know that that wasn't a dream and then they just didn't wake up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very bizarre. Yeah, but I remember that too. And then I would be scared to death that I was going to die in my dreams,
Oh my gosh. That is funny.
especially from these snakes.
Yeah, the snake thing is one of those where I have to wake up and walk around to like really wake myself up so I don't go back to that dream. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that was it.
I know.
Yeah,
I did it last night. I was tossing and turning and I was like, I don't like these dreams. I don't like these dreams I
yeah.
keep having because I kept going right back into it. And I turned the TV on and tried to watch some Project Runway and get some like fashion and some, drama going on in my life so that I wouldn't go back into it. But yeah, it's like I want to go to sleep and I want to be at peace. I don't want to go to sleep and just be completely stressed out.
Hey, I got a TV question for you now that you just brought this up. This is the month for me as a person that loves television. Right now, it's we're in the middle of September as we do this show, and I always look forward to my shows are coming back. Like the regular old shows that you watch, the ones that are on the networks, and you're going, all right, this is it. Either they're going to come back September, beginning of October, but we look forward to it. What I noticed dramatically that is different as I watch old TV, as I think I told you a couple months ago, I've been watching Leave It to Beaver episodes. It's the last thing I watch before I go to sleep at night. And like when you did television shows, I don't know how many you did on Baywatch, but like Charles in Charge, a normal show, Modern Family, it's usually like 22 episodes in a year. Okay. And now when I watch Leave It to Beaver and some of these old shows, they were doing like 34, 35 shows in a
Yeah.
year. Do you know anything about how that changed? How I'm sure it was a contract negotiation on how that worked. Number one. Two is how many times did you run into somebody in the summertime going, when are you guys coming back? Like people be almost frustrated with you that they're running reruns and we're getting new shows. Do people ever think like, hey, you don't work enough?
Well, I don't know. No, not really. But I mean, when you guys coming back is a thing, but that always, like you said, was scheduled and it was always on schedule. As as the years go on here and there's more content and there's more outlets to air the content, the order for the episodes gets much smaller. So now shows will get like 8, 12. Some things like Love Island, they run long. They have like 30 something episodes, but not very many shows have that. And don't get a chance because back then the networks would invest in a show, right? They would invest. There were only a few channels. There were only a few shows and they cared about them and they put the work into it. And if something wasn't working, they tried to fix it. Now they're just like, you didn't hit high ratings right off the bat, you're out. Next. And it's unfortunate. There's a show, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but I believe it was called Waterfront. And me and Dylan, my oldest daughter, watched it and we just loved it. And she texted me the other day. She's like, you're not going to believe this. They're not bringing it back for a second season.
Wow.
And it's such a good show. So good. And it's just so disappointing. You're like, oh man. And then I see like an advert for a show that's very similar to it, airing on another. And it's just like, God, it's too much. Can we just, but it's like what the world is now. It's just this short attention span. It's like, let's slow down a little bit and go back to focusing on something that we have that's good here. And like, let's fine tune it if it's not, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just don't do that anymore. And it's just a shame. It's just a shame. For Charles in Charge and Baywatch, they both were syndication. So they might have aired in seasons, but we didn't shoot like that. We shot all the way through. So we didn't shoot like for a season and then take a big hiatus or a break. We would just shoot all the way through. That's like the difference of syndication. So it's a little bit harder work.
The thing from the outside that always looks crazy hard is soap operas. And I know there aren't as many as there used to be. But man, when you look at the schedules and you always hear the stories of how much dialogue you have to memorize, and it's every day, it seems really, really hard. I mean, have you ever thought about or even saying a soap opera would be something that would be a blast because I love acting.
It's funny that you bring that up because not too long ago, I had signed with a new agency, which I'm no longer working with now, but and she and my manager had said, what about a soap? And they had reached out to somebody who does all these soaps and everything. And I had said, yeah, okay, without really giving it much thought. And then I recently caught like a clip of one and I thought, oh my God, if I thought they were bad back in the day, they're like worse. And, listen, not to knock soap actors because they work their ass off, but it's not, it's really corny, right? Like it's just really cringy. It's cringy and it's like, oh, what are we doing here? So yeah, they have to learn a lot, but they pop it off really fast. And yeah, for me, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. It seems like a lot of work for little payoff. But I know that people love soaps and that's why they're still around and there's an audience for it and power to it. And I'm all for that. It's just not for me.
I used to be a huge General Hospital fan, like from the time I was 7 years old, because I watched them with my grandmother. But General Hospital as long as I could. And then one thing about General Hospital, you can go back right now and there's still actors on the show that were there when, and you just go, I don't know what it is, but man, my grandmother was into them and there were a bunch of them. ABC ran them from in the morning from Ryan's Hope all the way to General Hospital. And there were a bunch of them that just ran and ran and ran. And then CBS had theirs, The Young and the Restless, and they ran through. And I imagine it's very expensive to run them because there are like 35 actors on these shows. But at the same time, it was a big deal. As you said, there weren't as many options in the past. And you had a lot of either stay-at-home moms or elderly people that had nothing to do but watch their stories, as they used to say. I got to watch my stories. And so that was always interesting. Also, the one thing about soap operas, the best looking people, it seems like in the world, are on soap operas. Yeah. Like everyone's great looking. And then you watch TV at night, like, man, they're much better looking on soap.
Daytime.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in Port Charles, but everybody's smoking hot.
Yeah, my mom used to watch Days of Our Lives. I would remember that, like sands through the hourglass.
Exactly.
And I would be like, oh God. And then I'd leave the room.
You go, oh God. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, for fuck's sake. I'm out of here. I'm gone.
That's funny. Oh
yeah, well, those were the days. So I have a product alert. I haven't had one in a while. I've been using the same rotation of products and been quite happy. So but I got this product from Abib.
Okay.
It's Korean. ABIB. And it's Jericho Rose creme, and their Bifida serum. This duo. Okay, so here's what I love. It's Korean. They are just top of their game. We know that. Their products, their ingredients are so good. That's what's on the front of the packaging. It is just listed. And it doesn't smell like rose. I'm not a fan of the rose fragrance. So, but I know that it works wonders. So I love this because it doesn't smell like rose. I was a little worried, but it has mushroom in it and agave and coconut oil and shea butter, just all the good stuff. And their packaging is cute. I love the packaging, glass and metal tubes. So it's healthy. It's good for the environment. It's all of the things. It's a little bit more on the pricier side than what I usually spend, but I'm not mad at it because you can get both of them together for about $36, $37. Okay. Otherwise, I think they're about run you about 20, 30 each separately, but if you get them together, you can get a little bit of a price break. And but I'm really enjoying them. Even Keegan came in, she's like, where's that Abib stuff? And yeah, so if you're in the market for a new little skincare moisturizing and a serum duo, I highly recommend. I really am enjoying them, and the ingredients are lovely and things I've not used together before, so I'm interested.
Good deal. Yeah. All right. Yeah, people always ask me about the product alerts. I'm glad you came up with one. You found one.
Yeah, a
I
beat,
guess
and I do have a whole line that you should check out. It's so these are just what I'm using right now, but they have a lot of other stuff. So yeah, I recommend it.
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, I know you always have a lot going on. Anything you want to share? Anything that's going on that you want to share?
Not really. Okay, I'll give you a funny story though. I don't know if it's funny or you guys will just be completely offended, but I
That's a
I
funny reason.
had I had an event on Saturday and I woke up Saturday morning. Now the event was for the organization that the doctor who did my reconstruction is a part of.
Okay.
So, and I knew he was away on a surf trip. God bless him. He works 2 weeks, travels 2 weeks. He's amazing. But I knew I was on my way and there would be all the rest of his team was going to be there and other doctors. But I woke up and my boob was all black and blue.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, what happened? Now, it wasn't, and it hadn't been, and it's been a few weeks since my surgery. And I was like, what did I do? What have I done? It didn't hurt. It wasn't hot. It didn't look infected. I didn't have a fever. There was none of that going on, but I had this black boob. And I was like, oh my God. So it stressed me out, right? And I'm trying to keep calm. And I'm like, you've just got to get everything together, get down there because it was in Newport Beach. I was like, you just got to get there. And so I get through the day, I get through the night, I'm in my gown, and I go to the head doctor of the head surgeon of the whole organization, and I'm like, do you have a minute? And I was like, can we go in another room? And it's me and him and the assistant surgeon that was in on my surgery. And we're in this back room at this event, and I'm like pulling my gown down. That's a
Oh wow.
strap. And I'm like, what's going on here? What is this? And I'm like, I'm freaked out because here's the thing. It felt like nothing, but what if it was something? What if it
Yeah.
was something and then I like lost my boob again and they were like, Nicole, you woke up with a black and blue boob and you didn't say anything? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would have been the
Yeah.
biggest idiot in the world. So I'm standing in this room and I just like pull my gown down. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, you're fine. He's like, you tore something and there's probably, he said, just a few drops of blood can make that big of a bruise mark. And he said, and you can expect it to get worse before it gets better. So that right there gave me such a peace of mind because can you imagine if I didn't do that? And Sunday I woke up and it was even worse.
Yeah.
And I had been in a
Yeah.
room full of doctors and didn't
Yeah.
ask anybody. Like I would have been the biggest tool on earth. So he said, not to worry, don't worry, just take it easy, let it heal. You know, and because I do so much lymphatic work, it really spread because my lymphatic system is like really, so it carried it and it really spread out. And so we're walking there, and then he turns around and he goes, I just have to say, you had really good results. I was like, it's the doctor's way of saying I have nice tits. I have a nice
Yeah.
rack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
thought
it.
that was amazing. He turns around, he's like, and he's the
Yeah.
nicest guy. He's not creepy at all. He's just like, you have amazing results. So,
This guy must have gone like, this is like one of the greatest nights ever. This celebrity just walked up to me and showed me her tits. This is great.
I mean, he's a doctor.
Yeah, no, he's still a guy. You know, come on.
Yeah.
You know,
He's an older gentleman. Yeah, no, I know.
still,
And they both
still.
are probably like, what's going on? What just happened here? What is it? What did this night turn into?
Oh,
But yeah,
greatest night
you
ever.
know, it was great for me too. So it's fair is fair. I was
That
relieved and felt great and didn't have to worry.
okay, I got a question for you because you've obviously had surgeries in the past before you had cancer and everything. And what here's a funny thing to me about this has happened to me multiple times. Girls I know who have had breast enhancement surgery always are quick to show them, like to not even when I'm like dating them, but you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like almost like it's on a part of their body, almost like, hey, I bought a new car, it's in the driveway, you know, look at
Yeah.
it, and then they show them, and it's look, as a guy, it's a huge benefit, but as it is one of those things, it's still on your body. And if you want to show, I'm going to look. But there are like celebrities that I know, either news anchors or people I've seen on TV, and I've seen them because they're quick to show them.
Yeah.
And it is wild. When you had surgery the first time or a couple times, did you have the feeling like, hey, I have these, but they aren't like, they're different. I can show these off, and it's not like someone seeing a part of my body I normally wouldn't show.
Okay, no, I don't think that. You definitely are showing part of your body. It's still part of the no-no square. But I do get it because, listen, a good rack, boobs are fun, right? There's something fun about them.
Yeah.
And when you're sporting them and they look good, there's something like, oh, look what I got. It's like a new accessory that's just so good.
Yeah.
And I never felt that way. I'm particularly excited about this set. I think this is the first set of boobs where I have that feeling of like, oh my gosh, yes, I've got cute boobs. I'm so excited. I do not want to run around showing everybody. Absolutely not. They're still just for me, but I do get it. Like I do comprehend like where these women are coming from, because it's just like look at what they can do. Look at this,
Yeah.
especially if you saw like a before and then you the after, it's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and especially
Yeah.
when you like have saggy boobs. If you're like a woman and you have saggy boobs and you get them lifted and they're all perky and like you no longer you get to choose if you want to wear a bra or not, you're kind of like very elated.
Yeah.
You are on top of the world. Like, oh my gosh, check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
And then, trust me, no one's complaining. I don't know a guy that's ever
No,
walked away. I cannot believe she showed me her boobs. They're all like, this
of course not.
was an
Because everybody
unbelievable night.
appreciates a good rack. Like
Yeah.
everybody appreciates a good
Yeah.
cute side of boobs. Like it's just what it is.
That's true. That's true. No argument. No one's arguing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. There you go. Wow. Look at that. Oh my gosh. All right. You want to get to your mailbag?
I do. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's get to the mailbag. Here we go. So again, to get a question in on Nicole's mailbag, all you have to do is go to perfectlytwistedpod.com. Again, perfectlytwistedpod.com. The mailbag is at the top of the screen. And that's what Daphne did. Okay. So Daphne has 5 questions for you. I believe she has 5 questions for you. She says, Nicole, what were you like in high school? Did you enjoy studying? Which clique did you belong to?
I did not go to a high school. I was working and I was tutored. So my high school experience was the first part of it was tutored in a room with 2 other kids at different grade levels. So there was a lot of quiet, a lot of just doing your homework on your own, which would drive me absolutely crazy. It would be like 5 hours a day sitting there. And then the writers went on strike and everybody had to stop work. And it was like we suddenly were thrown into having to find a school. I ended up going to a very small private school in Hollywood called Excelsior, and it was with other celebrity kids, models, actors, actresses, vocalists, artists, and then other kids that just weren't into doing the high school experience were there. And that was for a period of time. It was for 6 to 9 months, somewhere in there. And then we went back to work, and it was back into that room, and I couldn't take it. So what I did is I signed up for what they had at the time was a program called independent study. So I would do my work on my time, on my own, and then I would go into a campus and see a teacher once a week and turn in my work and go over things, check in, and then they would assign me my next week's assignments and I would do them because I couldn't be in that room with that tutor. And one tutor in particular, I don't think he liked me very much. And he called me one day. He said he compared me to a cow. And he said, "You're like a cow that just grazes out in the field all the time." And I was like, not sure what the hell you mean by that.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm a little bit carefree. I'm not in like a rush. Like, I don't know what the heck you mean by that, but I don't like it. I don't like you. And no, he probably was a fine guy. I don't know. I don't remember. It was very frustrating to be in that room. And so that was sort of my high school experience. It was very different. And since I did the independent study through the LA Unified School District, I got to have a graduation at which burned down was Pali High. Pacific Palisades High School, there was a big graduation ceremony of different schools and different academies that did work like this. And so I got to like go up in a gown, cap and gown, and get my diploma and felt some sort of normalcy. And that was it. So I didn't really, there was no cliques.
Yeah.
It was me, myself, and I was my clique. And it's fine, it was fine.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Nicole, what is your favorite Leonardo DiCaprio film? Mine are the Titanic and Romeo and Juliet. Do you have a favorite Leonardo film?
Romeo and Juliet, and I would have to say Gilbert. What's eating Gilbert?
What's
Gilbert
eating
Grape.
Gilbert Grape? Yes.
Yeah, I mean he was so good in that. He was so good in that. And the Romeo and Juliet, I made out with him the night of the premiere, so that was.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
we had a little kissy at the after party. Yeah, and Dylan's dad was in that movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought Lars did. Was it Lars? Who was the director? Baz. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. I just thought it was really fun, ahead of its time. It was really kind of artsy and cool, and I really enjoyed the movie for what it was. But I thought he was great with Johnny Depp in the Gilbert Grape. I mean, what a acting job there. What a performance.
He's outstanding. He's honestly, when I always think of greatest actors of all time, and guys always love to have these arguments, and it's always the Robert De Niro's and the Pacinos and this and that. I was like, I'll put Leonardo against everybody. Like, I think he's that good at what he does. And again, I've never done the craft, but just watching, I'm always amazed how good he is.
He's really good. Yeah. He's really good, and he's a really genuinely nice guy. Like, he's a good guy. Like, he just is a sweet, good human. And yeah, so all of that. Yeah, much respect to Leo.
I think I've told you this story. Maybe I haven't, but a buddy of mine who went to school with him and kind of bullied him. Did I tell you the story?
No, I don't think so.
Because in Los Angeles, for people who are following the show, who basically not from LA, there's so many people in LA that have the acting bug, and they try out for things, they audition. They might not have the success that Nicole does or Leonardo does, but they want to make the run at it. And so there's always somebody on your block that wants to be an actor. And like in my neighborhood alone, I had David Schwimmer, I had Gary Coleman, I had people that you saw that made it. So Leonardo he's a couple years younger than me. He and my buddy, who's the same age as Leonardo, says what he wants to do, and he starts giving him shit. Like, dude, you're never gonna make it. Like, there's no chance. Like, you're wasting your time. And it was so uncomfortable, where I was like, why don't you leave this kid alone when he's telling me the stories? And it ends up being him. Maybe the greatest actor, as I just told you, in my opinion, of all time. And he was the one that he goofed on. And I was like, every time I see him make it big, I'm like, I always text my buddy, hey, remember that kid? Okay, you nailed it again. And I'm like, you couldn't have picked a worse guy to pick on and tell him he wasn't going to be successful than this guy.
You never know what kind of skill they have. You want to hear a funny Leo story? Is that he was up for the role of Hobie on Baywatch.
No way.
Now, you figure probably in a day he might have been a little disappointed he didn't get the role, right? But probably the best thing that ever happened to his career. Right. Exactly. Right? Talk about blessings in disguise.
You aren't kidding.
Yeah, he was up for that. So, and he didn't land it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I have another buddy who used to bully Tony Hawk because he'd come into skateboarding magazines all the time in his school. And he'd go, dude, you're never going to, good luck with your skateboard. He'd always tell him. And Tony Hawk's made $500 million since. Yeah. Another one that didn't work out real well. My friends know how to pick them, Nicole.
Yeah.
They know how to pick them. Oh my gosh. All right. Question number 3 from Daphne. Did you ever watch or audition for Saved by the Bell, California Dreams?
No, I didn't. I think I was still working on Charles in Charge and wasn't probably in the auditioning wheel at that time. So no, not at all. Or Saved by the Bell might have been after, and maybe I was older. I'm not really clear on the timelines of that, because again, I didn't watch those shows, and I didn't. But I remember being friends and being around Tiffany Amber Thiessen a lot. But that was before and right as she started Saved by the Bell. And then, of course, we love and know Kelly Packard from California Dreams, Dreamin'. And No, I feel like they're younger than I am. Are they? I don't know. I don't. But no, the answer is no. I didn't audition for those.
Pretty close to the same age. Pretty close, I
Okay.
think. Maybe just a little bit younger. Pretty close to the same age. Yeah.
So I might have been working and
Yeah.
not auditioning. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Nicole, when is your good friend Scott Grimes coming on the podcast? Did you watch him or Party of Five or ER? I love both of these shows.
Yes, of course. And of course I got to work with him on Who's the Boss. He also had a reoccurring on Who's the Boss. I don't know. When is he coming on? Scott Grimes, when are you coming on the show? I don't bother him. He's a busy guy. He is always in the sound studio, whether he's recording music or doing one of the, how many shows is he on? He's on like a number of hit shows. So it's hard for me to, to try to ask people for their time when anytime they have off, they deserve and want rest and peace. But maybe I'll circle back to him when he has a break and see if we can get him on, because he really is one of the funniest human beings ever. So he'd be a fantastic guest. Speaking of guests, we've got a couple of fun ones coming up in October, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I'll work on it. I'll work on getting Scott Grimes.
All right, last question for you, Nicole. Did you ever audition for the Scream movies, and what was your favorite slasher film?
Okay, no, I didn't audition for Scream, but you know what I did audition for and went back quite a number of times was, remember the Wayne brothers did like a spoof on the Scream? Yeah. I was in the mix for one of those, but not I don't think the actual Scream. I think I was at a time in my life where I was really not pursuing acting. I think I was
burnt out.
Yes, I was in my head of like, you need to deal with stuff, I had a lot going on coming off of Charles in Charge, and then I went into Baywatch, and I was being called, I was being lumped in. Excuse me, I was being lumped in as a bimbo, quote unquote, in the press and in the media with this Baywatch and the cast, and I just couldn't understand where it was all coming from. And like, I was like, how did I get here? What is going on? I feel like this in my personal life, and then in the public, I'm being called this. And it's just like things were not adding up for me, and they were not making me happy. And I really stepped away and, was like, F this. I need to just be me. And I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody. So I think it was in that era.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Again, Daphne, really appreciate the 5 questions. If you want to get your questions in, you can do what Daphne did. Again, perfectlytwistedpod.com, the mailbag at the top of the screen, and go ahead, get those questions in, and we'll do our best to get them on the show. So I appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you, Daphne. Thank you so much for the questions. We've had good questions these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You guys are really bringing it. So thank you. Thank you. Give us a like, give us a follow, and we will see you next week.